Hey, great day, everyone. Happy Wednesday. And so I am really excited for this live masterclass. I'm setting up my mic. Sorry, I realized it was behind my laptop, but I'm really happy that you joined me today. And so you definitely want to have your pen and paper ready. We are talking about reels versus real trust. Now, of course, I use the word reels because most people post on Instagram, but we also have people that post on TikTok. We also have people that post on YouTube, on Pinterest, and on any other like thread, short form content platforms. And so some of the things that we're going to talk about today is why should you incorporate going live to grow your business and establish your brand or glow up your brand. We will also be talking about how to remove, and I'm going to challenge some limiting beliefs around going live or even pressing record on a pre-recorded video on your phone. And a lot of these we've heard from our clients. We'll also be talking about the importance of, especially if you want to do workshop speaking, trainings, be a keynote speaker. Why is it very important that you use live stream and video to build and create your own stage? We're going to incorporate a little bit of marketing in terms of how you can incorporate storytelling when you are actually doing video. And then make sure that you stay until the end and make sure that you subscribe if you're watching on YouTube, because I will be sharing some resources. And one of them, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into the 5 steps to go live. This is something that I've been doing for years because I was part of the revolution of when Instagram first converted just from pictures of our food and using sepia and black and white. If you know, I was around when it was only for iPhone only. And then it just blowed up. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. So if you can head over to the comment box, let me know, where are you tuning in from? You can put your city and state. You can just put your state. If you are an online entrepreneur, what is your title? If you have a license, what is your license? I always love to know who I'm talking to so that if I have any particular examples, I can give them to you because I'll take note of, who's in the room. So, hey, Valen. So this is one of our community members. And so she's out here in Southern Cali. She's a licensed marriage and family therapist. So yeah, as y'all get to, if you can get to the chat box, let me know. But some of you also may be watching on your TVs. Okay. So let's go ahead and hop into it. I am going to pull up some things on the bottom of my screen just so that you can follow along with the topics per se. So let's jump into the first one. Why do you want to incorporate going live, not just pre-recorded video, into your business? So I'm going to start bridging storytelling time and taking some of y'all back, even if you did not have a business back then. Okay. So in 2025, current date, online businesses are very much in a boom. But we also, if you're in business, I'm sure that you can relate, being online in business can also get very lonely and isolative. Let me know, am I talking to myself or does it feel isolating, right? And so you're by yourself, you're in your home office, or maybe you're in an office suite, but when you're doing your work, you're with the person in front of you. But outside of that, I mean, that's pretty much it. You might be tired. You don't want to involve your family, or you may do a job like myself. Part of my job I can't talk about because it's confidential. So having an online business really is in 2025 about connection and not just about creating content. So write that down. It's not just about creating content. It's also about creating connection. Okay. Now, when you think about short form videos, this is really important. Those videos are more like trailers, not like a sneak peek. So for example, if I had a family vlog coming out of when we went to Walt Disney World during New Year's Eve, right? I can create a short on all platforms and then redirect people to my long form content. That way it's like no love lost. And I'm going to make sure that the reel is going to capture some of the funniest parts, some of the most entertaining or facial expression or us getting on rides parts, so that people will say, wow, I want to go watch the whole movie. So think about your short form content is like, as are you just giving more and more information, or are you putting it in a position to filter people someplace else? Okay. So your audience, people online who are scrolling or even doom scrolling, we're in a day and age where people want to see the person behind the brand. Now, I know that there are a lot of faceless platforms in terms of people showing up on the platform. And I'm not saying that those pages are not successful, but if you are in the service-based industry and you serve people as part of your business, it don't matter what kind of business you have. If you serve people, people want to hear the person that's going to be providing the service. And that's why, for our clients, I'm like, faceless is cool to a degree, but can you at least insert your own footage? Maybe you're not talking, but maybe you do a voiceover on the short form content. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comment box if that makes sense. So think about your short form content as a trailer. We're going to talk about why in terms of the title, which is Reels versus Real Trust, because it is a versus for a reason. Okay. So going live, like we're doing right now, is a real show. You are actually getting to know me. You can sit back with some popcorn or wine and listen or take notes, or maybe you're tuning in when you're driving home from work or going on your walk. I'm not sure. But the information that I'm providing on this platform, which is YouTube, it actually lives on even when the live ends, when I click end stream. Okay. So remember that if you're in the service-based field, people want to know who and what they're signing up for. The next thing you want to consider is going live actually will build trust faster than I believe anything else. And I can only attest to what I have done in my business. I've been going live since we could go live on Periscope, kind of telling my online age, Facebook when it was only for college students and they added live. And then, I adopted all the platforms as they were coming out, like Snapchat, Twitter to a degree. I stopped being on there. And now it's very overwhelming. But I will encourage you to adopt at least one long form platform or create your long form content on shorter platforms like TikTok or Instagram so that people can get to know you, because people want to buy from people they trust. And correct me if I'm wrong, like you don't just see, a guy or a woman or a car or a home and you like that, you it. Like you see them for 5 seconds and you say, tag, you're going to be my partner for the rest of my life. Heck to the no. So why would people pay 10, 50, hundreds, thousands of dollars if they don't know you, right? That also means that they are going to have to consume a lot more in frequency of your short form content, which means you're going to have to produce more short form content if you choose not to create long form content. And for my service providers, anybody who went to school, you got a certification, you got a license, you got information for days. I don't understand why. We're going to talk about it though. You can do what I'm doing right now and just talk about one topic. Okay. So when you think about trust does lead to people getting on your calendar, booking you for a consultation, booking your services. It leads to product sales. It leads to new customers or clients. So if you are in fear, if you are scared of going live, because that is a step beyond just pressing record on your camera or your phone, we all know you're not by yourself. But I will tell you in 2025, if you do avoid pressing record at all costs, it doesn't mean you're not going to grow. It just means that your growth might be a little bit slower than maybe what you anticipate. So now I want to shift to some limiting beliefs that I have heard, and I am going to bust these myths. But as I'm going through them, let's have a little fun. And this is called, we're going to call it a game. It's going to be called the press record spiral. The press record spiral. And as I am pulling them up one by one on the screen, I want you to be honest, like, that's me. Oh, that's me too. All right. So, all right, let's get to it. Okay. So the first one, I don't like how I sound. So my myth buster for that is if you got to talk to somebody for your services, you better figure out a way to like how you sound, because they got to hear your voice all the time. They hear your voice on the voicemail. They hear your voice on like your website. If you have a video, if you want to do speaking, they hear your voice. So you can't be out here saying, I want to be a speaker, I want to be a trainer, but I don't want to do no video because I don't like my voice. What? Like, come on, like let's do better. Okay. All right, let's keep going. What if nobody watches? If nobody watches, at the end of the day, you will walk away with a lesson learned called you were able to practice. So again, embedding a little story. when your girl was doing webinars with no one signing up, and then when they would sign up, they would not show up, right? I still showed up like this. You couldn't tell me nothing. I was on a webinar platform that I had paid for beyond the free trial. And I always tell my clients, I am presenting as though I'm talking to the Staples Center. I have a very niched audience when it comes down to specifically my coaching. Okay. And so I can talk about a world of things on live stream and on YouTube and even on my podcast. But when it comes down to the products and services that I offer, I'm niched. And when I'm niche, that also means that I'm not for everybody. It also means that even though there may be 8,000 people on my email list, and that's small considering that I have a multi-7-figure digital product business, right? When I'm comparing myself to other people, my email list is big for others and small for others, primarily because I'm very, very specific that when I offer a product, I don't want you to buy it if you can't use it, right? So if nobody watches it, so what? Practice, okay? What about this one? Oh, I don't know if I'm going to mess up my words. If you mess up your words, you know what that share with people in 2025? That shows people that you're human. You're not an AI chat bot. Like, this is Takesha talking to you right now. I didn't create an AI bot to come on here and I'm upstairs or outside with my kids. This is me, right? And so what if you mess up on my words? I messed up on my words about 3 times already. Okay. But I'm still going. Don't nobody know my script. You can't even see my document. I have a document right here. I got some notes over here, but then most of the stuff I'm just talking, right? So what if you mess up your words? Keep going. Okay. The next one, the video isn't perfect. The video will never be perfect because as you grow, so will your aesthetics in terms of what you expect. Okay. And so I will say there are some things that you want to have in order. For example, you want to have a clear background. You don't want to have a dirty clothes hamper in the background while you done took a picture or doing the video. You want to at least make sure you give yourself 5 minutes of prep. But the video does not have to be perfect. If y'all go back, y'all probably not gonna do this, but on my Dr. TK YouTube page, I have some family vlogs and they still ain't nowhere near perfect. I mean, I would even say they're barely good because I'm just having fun with my kids, just showing people what's outside of business. That's why it's on that page. But there was a video that we published when I went to Disney Alani back in 2000 and I think 21. And when I went back and rewatched that footage for like 2021 and 2022 when we went to Walt Disney World, man, I didn't have no stabilizer. I didn't even know what that was. My hand or me and my husband's hands was shaking. My voice was low. I was like, oh my God, I wouldn't even watch this video, but I still published it anyway. Why? Because me and my kids gonna watch it. And my 7-year-old son don't care about my hand being shaky. He might care about it when he get older, but he don't care about it now. What he cares about is memories, right? But what I'm saying is at some point, if I wanted to, I could just unlist the video if I'm no longer at that level with my video editing aesthetics, right? So go at your pace. Let me look at these comments a little bigger. All right. So someone Valin said, yes, I just tried this idea out and went great and taught me how to do better next time. And it was fun. Just like Nike, just do it. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be fun too. Somebody's from Delaware. Hello. Guilty of myth too. Okay. And then, yes, it is all practice. That's how we can learn to become that speaker we dream to be, especially for my speakers. Especially for my speakers. All right, let's keep going. Someone else already said it. Now, the last time I checked outside of the Bible, I don't know who said what in the personal development world. I can watch Tony Robbins, Eric Thomas, Les Brown, Jim Rohn. Some of y'all don't even know who these people are, right? But I can listen to all these people, Jack Canfield, and I'm talking about like old school personal development people. And I swear, after reading all their books and listening to all their videos, I feel like I done heard it about 5,000 times. But at the end of the day, even if they've said it, you deliver it differently. You bring in, or you should be bringing in, your personality. So I'm about to debunk that myth. The next one, I need better lighting. Now, I got 2 box lights that I bought off Temu because I wanted to buy some, for the first time on Temu and try out the website. Now, these are very close to my face. This isn't ideal lighting, but it'll do. But I will say a debunk myth is, okay, well then if you don't want to buy the lights and you don't like the lighting in your home, go get a ring light and clip it to your phone. Some of this stuff costs $20 to $30. Like we spend $20 to $30 for 2 people at Chick-fil-A. Okay. So I'm sure you can miss a meal and go and buy you some lighting for $30. Okay. But even if you don't, then find a room that has natural lighting, AKA windows, and record during a time of day, if you can, where it has natural lighting. Again, myth debunked. Another one, let me know if this resonates. I don't know what to say. If you don't know what to say, there's called AI. But I will say to not just copy and plagiarize people, I like to use the voice feature. I like to brain dump in AI and then say, organize my thoughts for this live stream. So nothing that I'm talking about today isn't anything that I would not have said on my own, but I already know going live, it triggers a level of energy in me where I can no lie talk to y'all for like 3 hours. Unless these kids come and get me, and unless it gets too hot, I can literally talk to y'all for 3 hours and it feel like an hour. Why? Because I'm doing something that I love. All right. So you do know what to say. Okay. All right. So it looks like those limiting beliefs definitely resonated with some people. So that's great. So let's go ahead and move on to the next section. So now let's talk about why going live should be normalized. And if you want to be on stage, as a matter of fact, put a one in the comment box if y'all want to be on somebody's stage. I'm talking about podcast, audio, and video. You want to physically be on someone's stage. You want to do a presentation, even if you are a life insurance agent, a therapist, a realtor. We have annual conferences all day long across the country and even outside of the country, depending on your certification and your license, right? And so sometimes because we're part of these affiliations, let's just say if I'm a part of APA, American Psychological Association, or I want to go to a podcast summit, I may want to submit myself to be on a podcast summit. And so sometimes I have clients that say, oh man, I want to be on these stages. And, my face says everything. And I'll say, oh, okay, when was the last time you marketed that you speak? And they like, well, I mean, I post about me being a therapist. And I'm like, yeah, that wasn't the question. Like, have you explicitly said I'm available for speaking engagements? Have you actually given someone information to book you for speaking? Okay. So I want to go over different ways of how you can use showing up online and live to create your own stage. So one tip is, and this is something you want to remember, people or investors or people who are looking for speakers or trainers, they want to see how you teach before they invite you to speak. Now, I get that there will be some warm handoffs. There is something called relationship capital. But even with relationship capital, that just means that you have relationships with people and like your name got you in the door, but it doesn't mean you're going to have recurring income. So they may call you for one workshop, but I don't know about you. I want to be called for like 10. I want the free workshop to turn into $500,000, right? And so this is why you want to create your own platform, even if it is on someone else's platform. So the different platforms that I have that I've gone live on is YouTube live stream. I did TikTok a couple of times, and then I mostly go live on, or I used to go live a lot on Instagram, but primarily right now it's YouTube just because the shelf life of the videos are longer, meaning people watch my videos 2 to 3 years later. Also because I create timeless content. I tried not to create content around what's the fad right now. Even though I may say 2025, the things that I'm talking about, unless live goes away, is not going to die away, right? So here's some more stats, because someone had asked me this on YouTube, like, are you going to share like what you've done in terms of streams of income? I'm going to incorporate it, okay, as it relates to how live has fed my business. Okay. So some of you already know this because you're part of our community. In the last 8 years or so, I've hosted 15 plus. I just stopped counting after a point, but I've had 15 plus live in-person events. Think about that. In 8 years, someone has 15 plus in-person events. How many of y'all want to have in-person events? Say me, like in person, me, right? So even if you want to maybe be a part of someone else's retreat or in-person event as a speaker, okay? Something else that I pride myself on is I've led over 40 plus online product launches. How many of you all want to get so good at launching something like a digital product or a service where it's on autopilot? And what I mean by autopilot, you're still in it, but I ain't gonna lie, like some launches that I've done, I was lit up during the live stream. And then I told my team like, yo, why in the middle of the videos, I get bored? Not bored with like the live, but like nothing was new. And see, that's how our brain is wired. We always got to change something. Something always got to be new. And that actually will stall your growth. So even when you go live, you want to have a template. And I'm going to share the template at the end. Okay. So I've created a good amount of sold digital products, from ebooks to courses, self-paced, to coaching programs and one-on-one coaching that involves me. And all of this came from me showing up first on my own platform. So some of you may have been following me for a while, where I had like this little internal contest with myself. It started in 2020, where I said, I'm gonna get to 100 podcast episodes. So I recorded 85. Then I started, recording pre-recorded YouTube videos and some live stream. Then the next year I was like, I'm going to record 100 again. Then the next year I didn't make that goal, because at that point I'm like, I'm just going to post what I want to post that's going to help my community. But now I'm literally at today, June 11th, 2025. I am at the 498th podcast episode. Can y'all celebrate me? 498 episodes. That includes interviews with clients, interviews with people who I feel like can feed my community. That includes live streams, audio only, car chit chats that we flipped into an audio. Some of it may include even some old boot camps that we just left up there. 498. Like, y'all know I'm probably going to do something crazy for the 500th. Okay. Because that's, to me, I'm in a birthing of a new season right now. Okay. So let me share with you some of the flip side of what happens when you go live outside of your business, because I know that's what y'all waiting on, right? So because people that I didn't realize were watching me online, even Facebook Live, even my personal page, that has gotten me invited into trainings for churches, nonprofits, corporations. Quick little story plug here. Some of you follow me on Instagram and you saw that I went to go speak at a church last week around this time. I went to go speak at someone's Bible study. Actually, it was last Wednesday. Now, this was a person that invited me. Let me back up. My bishop years ago had requested that we do something around mental health for Mental Health Awareness Month. And then we kind of did it like 2 to 3 times with other people that were in the mental health field in the church. That led into we suggesting that ministry have a separate mental health workshop. And then they chose a topic, and it was burnout prevention. And the first one, though, was suicide prevention with Black men and Black boys. But then we realized that people are dumping this information on you. So what are you doing to like take care of yourself? And they were like, oh man. So it gave them a stress little questionnaire, and it was off the chart. So we said, we're going to come back, and we made it a 3-part series. Well, bishops go to these, I don't know what they're called, but they go to like these retreats, right? Where they're off the grid. It's like 50, hundreds of bishops and people that are heads of churches and things. And somehow my name got exchanged. So that is an example of relationship capital. Well, what that led into is one of the pastors, Pastor PG, he had hit me up and said, can I participate in something they're having at their church when him and his dad, rest his soul. So I went, and I was one of the speakers amongst a good amount of speakers, right? And the dad was actually the pastor at that time of the church. And so he then said, hey, we got to have her back, get her phone number. We got to get her back. Now, the part that I want to share with you is I didn't even know that he had scoped me out. So I want y'all to pay attention to this, especially if you in our programs and you got access to that speaker's kit. Okay. So what this pastor did is he hit up my bishop behind closed doors and said, hey, I've been watching. I think he said, who is Dr. TK? Can you tell me more about her? I heard y'all been doing stuff for mental health, whatever. So my bishop told him about me, and the guy went and watched the video that I did live on just like CBT, just a general mental health principle. Like, what is CBT? An example of driving on the freeway, you get triggered, you know what I'm saying? Somebody cuts you off. I'm animated when I do live. And so he hit me up and he texted me. He said, I hope you don't mind. Bishop gave me your phone number, whatever. He said, I want you to come to this thing we're having at our church. And I literally want you to do, check this out. He said, I literally want you to do the same presentation, and I compensate you for it. Put a 1 in the comment box if you want to get paid like that. You did something for free online, and they want to pay you at their location to do it again. Like, you ain't even got to create nothing new, no handouts. If you don't want to, no nothing. I said, sign me up. Okay. So he signed me up. And then I was like, oh, okay, you need me to send you a bio, a speaker's kit. Like, it's called a speaker's one sheet. And he was like, oh, no, sis, I got that already. And I'm like, how do you have it already? He said, oh, peep this. Your bishop already hooked you up. Your bishop knew that your website had a speaker's kit page. So my people who want to be speakers. And because you had your downloadable PDF with your speaker's kit, y'all know who I'm weakening at if y'all got the speaker's kit, right? And he was like, I already got your picture. Because on my speaker's kit at the time, I had like 3 to 4 pictures. And I said, choose which one based off the clientele that you have, like teenagers, adults, whatever. So he said, I want picture number two. And he said, just send that one to me. I said, okay. And he said, I already got like your speakers kit. Just send me a short bio, like this amount of characters, so we can put it in the little pamphlet. Bet. Now, guess what happened? That was 4 years ago. He called me back 2 years ago, and then I did a Bible study with him online. This was all during post-pandemic stuff. Then he hit me up again and say, hey, it's Mental Health Awareness Month. I want to go out with a bang. Hey, sis, would you mind coming to the church? I know you're busy. Da, da, da. And I'm like, I'm there. Put a one in the comment box if you want that. And where did it start? Me showing up, doing a Facebook Live on just talking to the public about me being a psychologist, and one tool that I use with all of my clients that always works. Let me give y'all the example. I know that was a long-winded story, but I hope that you can get the gist of how important it is to have your stuff together online when you sit here saying that you want to be on someone else's platform, okay? So I've spoken at conferences for therapists, social workers, healers, for the general public, for women's groups, for retreats. I've also clearly created my own stage right here on YouTube, on Instagram, and other platforms. And what's dope is these platforms also can pay me when I'm asleep. Because again, when somebody views the video, they can see the comments. Okay. So none of this happened overnight. This has been a journey. And I feel like these things started showing up when I started showing up. So tell yourself, I need to show up. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one because I kind of already started it. So let's talk about storytelling really briefly. So storytelling and the possibilities in terms of when you turn your phone or your camera into your own microphone and your own stage. Okay. So I just have like some more aha moments or takeaways here. When you think about going live, like I said earlier in the beginning, it's not just content, it is visibility. It is your ability to practice your craft of speaking about your expertise. And it's also about positioning. Now, one thing that I said in the limiting beliefs is people say that they don't like to hear their voice. Now, here's the thing. Not everybody does this, but I know that this has made me better at me speaking. I actually go back and rewatch my lives. A lot of people will never do that. But because I use my presence or even a pre-recorded video at times to educate people about the services that I offer or the products that I offer, I want to make sure that I am getting a very clear message across. And sometimes when I listen to myself, I realize I stopped myself in my tracks, which is why I typically have some type of bullet script, because I will get tangential. Y'all start talking to y'all in the comment box and it just gets all over the place, right? So remember, going live is about visibility, practice, and positioning. Something else to consider is each live becomes, this is really good, write this down. Each live becomes a replay for more people to watch it. It can become a lead magnet. I can easily take this off live stream and then embed it somewhere in an email marketing tool to either get people's email addresses for this masterclass, or I can sell it. This can become a paid product. I have taken plenty of things that were on social media, taken them down, and made them a paid product. And the reason I did that, because social media showed me how many people were engaging in it, and they started asking me, can I help them more? So yes, I'm going to take it down. I'm going to repurpose it. I'm going to buff it out a little bit. And yeah, you bet your bottom dollar, I'm about to sell it. Okay. Also, going live, it builds up your brand and it builds up momentum for people to see what you have to offer. The more you show up, the more the people that you serve, the customers that you are serving, your audience sees you as the trusted expert. Think about that. They see you as a trusted expert. Why? Because you're spending time with them. You're paying attention to the comment box. You're answering questions, or better yet, like for me, I like to get y'all engaged in the discussion because that's what I consider active learning. So you don't need to be picked out. Write this down. You don't need to be picked out of a crowd like the old school clubs in Hollywood. You need to choose yourself. You need to go down the steps at the club, say, I want her or him right there, grab their hand and walk them to the stage. Put a one in the comment box if you're committing to choosing you so that you can start building your brand for being online. And let me just sneak this in here because I know some of you are wondering, what if I want to do pre-recorded live? Well, I got to go live. You don't have to go live. But what I will say is live gives you error of omission for making mistakes because people know you're live. When it's pre-recorded, you got to edit all this stuff out. When this is live, unless I want to repurpose it, it's just going to sit live. Okay. So it's fun and you get to gauge your audience. Okay. So now I'm going to share with you the 5 steps to go live with confidence. Okay. So before I do want to let you know, if you are watching on YouTube, right? Because we did a sign up, but this was only so y'all can get reminders and stuff. Because I don't send out a whole lot of emails. I sent out one email today, like right before we went live. But if you are watching on YouTube, you want to go to the description and there is a bundle. The bundle has been upgraded, but I want to let you know to just earmark that you need to go there. And then if you are watching on the registration live stream, which most of you are, then I'm going to redirect you to my Instagram page to show you where everything is, or you can just find this video. Okay. So I do have some cool tools for you, especially on Instagram. And one of them is somewhat of what I'm going to share right now. Okay. So this is new. I actually created it last night because I had 4 phone calls with our VIP clients that are therapists one-on-one, building out digital products and group practices and like coaching programs. And one of the things that keeps coming up is anxiety around marketing. And I'm just like, y'all have so much information to share. I just don't understand why y'all don't do long form content. Like, you're creating anxiety around short form content, and it loses people's interest after 10 seconds. So step number 1 is prepare your intention. This is before you go live. So step 1 is prepare your intention before you go live. So you want to ask yourself, what one message do I want to have my audience walk away with? Just one. Just one. Okay. Use at least 3 talking points. If you're anything like me, I prefer bullets, not paragraphs, so that as I'm reviewing my notes, I can just have a conversation. Set aside at least 10 to 20 minutes to go live, especially if it's your first time going live. Okay. So set the intention. Step number 2 is create a simple title and description. So this title is Reels versus Real Trust. So where that topic came about is Reels is very short form. People gather information fairly quickly and then they just move on to the next meeting. You don't stand out in their head. They may even save the post and maybe never go back to it. I got plenty of saved posts and I don't go back to majority of them. Okay. At least right away. And so it's called the 7-11 rule. So write this down, the 7-11 rule. So typically people have to consume 7 hours of your content across 11 different touch points. Touch points can be 11 different posts, 11 different platforms, or a variety of the two. Put a 1 in the comment box if you like, oh my gosh. Meaning give yourself grace, because the reason why sometimes we're not growing is because that's why I did this. We're not giving people the opportunity to learn how to trust us, because you really expect for someone to see you in like love at first sight, just say after a 7-second reel, my life, my business, my health, my parenthood, my couple's relationship problems, it's changed because they showed me a 7-second reel and it had a hook and it had a trending audio. Thinking about that, like the trending audio is get my attention. The hook keeps me there. And after I swipe, I don't see your stuff again. And I don't even remember who you were because I didn't even look at your name. Okay. But if your stuff was juicy and you led me to, hey, I got a long form podcast, or I'm going live tomorrow, or I got this video X, Y, and Z. Yo, if I want to message with you, that is what I'm going to save. Okay. So when you're creating a title and a description, speak to the problem and hint at the results. So let's look at this title, Reels versus Real Trust. Put a 2 in the comment box if you feel like with what I've discussed so far, I have addressed the topic. We talked about Reels, aka short form. We talked about ways that you can build live trust. So I don't want to give you the whole thing, because if I would have said go live, some of y'all wouldn't have showed up because you'd have been like, well, I ain't got no plans of going live. You don't even know what I'm going to say, right? But y'all do probably got a problem with people holding on to trust because they're not buying your stuff. Okay. Even I, as much money as I've made in business, I have to check myself every like launch enrollment period that we have mostly for our coaching programs. And what I've started to do, again, I'm just going to sneak this in here for those of you who understand email marketing. If you don't, it's going to sound like a foreign language. When people opt in to sign up for a boot camp, it can be 50 people, hundreds of people, 2,000 people, right? So when we're done with the enrollment, let's just say at one point we had like 1,500 people sign up for a private practice boot camp. I was running Facebook ads, but I have a very niche audience. Some people be getting like 50,000 leads. I'm like, I got 1,500. And out of those 1,500, some of those are probably bots or fake people. But at the end of the day, I met my goal, right? So out of the 1,500, maybe only 500 people saw the video live and the replay. 500, right? Then when I do my enrollment, it may be 15 to 25 people who actually enroll in the program. Now think about that. Would that be an ego blow to some of y'all? 20 to 25 people bought. And instead of you celebrating the 20 to 25, you focus on, well, what happened to the other 1,400? No, like celebrate the people who trusted you and invested in you to give them a solution to their problem, right? So what I start doing long time ago when I start learning like understanding launches is I would have me or my team pull the reports, the email marketing list. And what we're looking for is how long they've been on my list. And I kid you not, most of the people, we would have a small percentage, but most people that got on the list, they actually had never seen me before, or they had never even opted into my email. They may have saw me on Instagram, but they didn't engage with me or anything like that. So why am I sharing this? Because you need to check yourself sometimes. You may get 500 views on a video, but how many of those people are actually your ideal customers or clients? I don't know. Okay. So use title. So use emojis and short phrases that pop. Let people know what they will learn. Put the objectives. When we sent out the email today, we put the objectives. When we posted it on YouTube, we put the objectives. Okay. Step number 3. Okay. Show up. Show up during the live. Okay. So start with energy and a short intro. So one thing that I've learned, and I'm still working on it, is when I go live, especially because there's usually a countdown before, I have to keep in mind that people are watching the replay. So I choose not to spend unless it's literally me just coming on here, just talking, right? If it's more like a masterclass, I have to make sure that I set the tone as soon as I say hello. Then I'll go into hop in the chat box, let me know about yourself, X, Y, and Z. And then I will go back to reintroducing the topic again, just so that people who are watching the replay know that I'm not just chit-chatting for 15 minutes. Because what's going to happen is when they watch the replay, they're going to log off because they're like, when is she going to get to the topic? Okay. So start with energy and a short intro. Let people know what to expect. You can ask questions early to engage the audience, but focus on connection, not perfection. So sometimes when you're live streaming, there may be a lag, right? Even if I asked a question, once y'all start answering it, I also have to keep in mind that you came here to get information. So I need to get to the information. I'm not going to sit here and wait for, let's just say if somebody signed on 30 minutes later, they probably are just at the intro part because they're watching it live stream, but they rewinded it, if you get me. So it would not be cool for me to stop right now and say, you know what, let me scroll up and let me look at all these comments and let me go ahead and put all y'all numbers, you know what I'm saying, on the screen from like 30 minutes ago. You'll be like, girl, bye. You know what I'm saying? And so, okay, so engage your audience. All right. Step number 4 is you do want to have a call to action before you end. So you want to invite people to do something. Now, it can be very subtle, like make sure you follow my page, subscribe to my YouTube channel, comment below, connect with me on Instagram or TikTok or another platform. If you are audio only, sometimes then I have an audio podcast on Apple, right? Invite them if you have downloads like on email lists, invite them for a freebie. So I'm going to show you how to get a freebie before we end today. Okay. If you do automation, you can have them DM a word. I have that on my Instagram. You DM a word, I DM you a link, or you can tell them to register for something else. Okay. You want to say it more than once. So you may say it in the beginning, the middle, and the end. You want to repeat it, especially if the comments are live, because it's getting lost in the sauce. Okay. And you also want to smile, pause, and then end with clarity. So like, if you notice my tone went up or down, I don't like presenting monotone. First of all, I would have logged off my own video if I was monotone. Like, I don't even think y'all messes with me if I'm monotone. Okay. So call to action. Step number 5, last one, and then we'll wrap up and I'll give you some resources. Okay. repurpose, and reflect after the live. Now, this is key. You want to save and upload your replay either to your phone, to your desktop, to YouTube, to Instagram, to TikTok, to your email list, to your community. Give people access to your replay, but take a few minutes and watch your own replay. It doesn't have to be the same day. But you also may want to watch a replay because you may want to edit the beginning or the end or something in the middle. Maybe you said something that no longer applies once you're ready to send it out. So let's just say if I offered something just for today, me and my team may edit it because I don't want people who are listening to it next week to think that that offer still exists. That link don't even exist, right? So lastly is celebrate the fact that you showed up. Like, celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself, okay? So yes, celebrate all wins. All right. So I am going to share with you some resources. Okay. So one, again, if you are watching on YouTube, there are a few places. I'm actually going to show y'all my screen so that you can see all the things. And these are all the fun things that you can do on live stream. That's why I like live stream, because man, I can just take y'all on a journey. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I'm going to go to my Dr. TK channel and then I'll share. On a scale of 1 to 10, how did y'all like the workshop? 10 is it was good, it was informative. I kept you focused. You feel like you can go live. That's the most important part. Like, let's go live. Instagram, y'all got a practice feature. Like, stop playing with your life. Go in there and click go live, then click practice. Just make sure it ain't public. And then switch it over to public and invite your friends. I mean, you could just invite 3 people and then say, man, watch me live. Like, practice. But at the end of the day, practice. Okay. All right, so let's see. Window. Okay, can y'all see this? All right. Oh, let me remove that. And drop any questions in the comment box if you have them too. All right, thank you for your reviews too. So, all right, make sure y'all can see. All right, so this is YouTube. So there's a couple of things. If you're on the YouTube channel or if that's where you go, this is other ways that I brand myself, meaning how people will find out about me even without me having to post about it all the time. I've started on YouTube promoting what season I'm in terms of product launches, live boot camps, etc. Something that's going to go for a long period of time. I usually will change my banner. So like we have a private practice and streams of income from your private practice 4-day boot camp. That's something that's new to us that we've done twice. Typically, it's been either private practice or streams of income. But we've started to merge the two because nowadays people want to do what's easy, which is just add a stream of income to my current business. Okay. So that starts on June 23rd. Now I'm sharing this with you because I want you to start looking at from observation how you can start embedding your resources all over the place. Okay. Just make sure that it's consistent. So this color isn't consistent with my brand. This color is consistent with it's summertime and we have a theme of you can work from everywhere and anywhere, and your girl like beaches. And I'm going to the beach this summer. So I usually choose beach colors during the summer. All right. So up here, you will see that it says links. So you see I have private practice bootcamp. If you want to sign up for that, it's completely free. Then sign up for that bootcamp. If you want to apply for our Vegas event, that's a 2-day in-person event where we actually hands-on work on your business in a very intimate environment with a few other therapists, social workers, or healers, then you can apply there. You do have to apply for me to review your business to see if you would be a good match. And then ultimately you have Instagram, okay? So those are the main resources. Now I want to go down here. This should look familiar. This is this video, okay? So it shows me that there are 7 people watching on YouTube, but most people are actually watching through the registration link. Okay. So if I clicked here, okay. So if I click here, you're going to notice on the bottom, because it is live stream, there is a link. So this is called the Profitable Streams of Income Bundle. Now, if you've seen my bundle in the previous last few months, you may have noticed that there was a mix in with digital products. What I've done is I've upgraded the bundle. So it does include some other things. Okay. So I'm going to get back to that. So if you want the bundle and to check it out, click there on YouTube, but there are other places that you can find it. Okay. So if you go over to my Instagram, this is really important. If you go over to my Instagram, you can get the same bundle. And then if you click more, so you can get the bundle. You can click here and get the bundle. Let me show you what's in the bundle. I'm really excited. So this bundle is valued at $397. I'm literally giving it away to you for $49. Okay, so this is what you get. You get a brag resume, which is something that I've been doing on what is it, on people stages and on online workshops. And people have realized that they're sitting on a gold mine. And this is probably why you're a little off when it comes down to choosing a stream of income, because you don't even know like where your confidence is in terms of what you can offer. So it looks like the formatting is off on this desktop, but Brag Resume, you still get the 60 digital product ideas for therapists, social workers, and healers. You get the bonus of the Abundant Vacation Guide, meaning take time off your business. Now, this is what's new. So you do get the Glow with Live toolkit, where it's a Google Doc PDF. I wanted to make it super simple. I'm going over in a little bit more detail what I talked about today. That's, included, but I'll show you a way that you can get that for free. I'll also give you a bonus of resource guide, where some people are like, what platforms do you use to run your online business? So I give you a one sheet for that. And then some more information on here. Now, if you want to see my whole store, you just click on the second link and it'll show you everything that we offer here. Again, the consistent, the bootcamp, the mastermind application, the bundle. Then if you just want to focus on 60 digital product ideas, like for digital products, you can get that. If you are a mental health provider and you're thinking about coaching, I want you to listen to this audio podcast, because you got to understand your ethical responsibilities. And then this is for free. So if you just want the Glow Up like Live Confidence Guide, it's a 6 to 7 pager. Just click here. You put in your name and email address. It's going to take you to a place, and then you'll get it right away. Okay. But our highlighted that we've gotten good reviews on is this one, the Profitable Streams of Income bundle guide. Okay. So those are our resources. Again, if you have never actually connected with me on YouTube, I would highly encourage it. This is something that I continue to share with people, because they don't realize when they're commenting on my videos what all is on my page. So you still should be seeing my YouTube channel. Now, some of these playlists clearly are private, but you can see them right now. So here's my playlist. I started a Mom CEO Diaries. If you want to know more behind the scenes, family vlogs. This is where the boot camp will be held, but it's unlisted, so you won't be able to see it outside of the live stream of people who are registered. If you are a therapist, there are all of our interviews, a lot of Disney stuff. And then we also have digital marketing. We have a day in the life vlogs. We have a lot of stuff on here depending on your stream of income. Okay. So sometimes people ask me questions, and the reason why I reroute you to my library, which again is benefiting this topic, is what do y'all think happens? I'm going to close out with a story. About 2 years ago, I realized how much of a gold mine my audio podcast was. And this is what I was already going live stream on YouTube, but it was really during launch time. I was doing more pre-recorded videos. And at some point, people started asking questions around fear around investing in themselves. How can I help them? X, Y, and Z. And one day I realized, gosh, this topic sounds so familiar. I think I created a podcast episode on it. So I had my team Google certain words, not Google certain words, but look up certain words, like control find on the Apple Podcast. And lo and behold, I had 10 podcast episodes that answered their questions. So now what happens? Because my program, the framework of it hasn't changed. If you go through our launch and you're like, yo, I want you to mentor me in your program, etc., but you got questions, I'm going to first look in my library of live and pre-recorded videos and audios repurposed for you. And I'm going to say, hey, click this link and listen to this audio. It'll answer your question. Now, the second part, about 1.5 years ago, we had someone who was in our bootcamp community. We have a Telegram group for the bootcamps. And I felt like people had questions, but they didn't want to ask them. So I was like, listen, if you got anything, please don't be afraid to ask the question. Just ask the question. And one person sent over a voice note. And this baffled me, because after she said it, so many people agreed. And I'm just like, y'all sitting on not blowing up your business because you're scared to ask a question. So her question was, excuse my language, and let me know if y'all relate to this. She said, listen, she sent a voice note. She was like, I just want you to hear how I'm going to say it. No shade against you, because I've been following you for a minute, but it's a whole lot of trifling coaches out here. And she was like, I already was part of a coaching program and they did not deliver what they say they were going to deliver. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the way you teach. I love this free community that you created just for the boot camp. I feel like because I've listened to you speak, that you actually know how to teach and you got the social proof to back it up. but please help me get out of my way to invest in myself. So, of course, I'm searching my podcast feeds and I see nothing directly related to her question because I want to answer her question straight up. So, what did your girl do? Because I have no problem picking up this mic, and I've had this mic since 2020. All right, I got another mic over here. My husband bought me 2 years ago. I still ain't plugged it up. So I told my husband, hey, I need 30 minutes. I need to go record a podcast. I ain't doing a video. It's an audio podcast. I went on GarageBand on Mac. I didn't have no extra software. I didn't even edit this damn like audio. All I did was put an intro and an outro. I recorded it. I published it same day. I went into the Telegram group and I said, here's the answer to your question. She joined within 24 hours, a 3K plus program. Put a one in the comment box if you like, damn, like all we got to do is have conversations with our people. Kind of. I mean, you got to know what you're talking about. You have to position your message, right? Like this masterclass is literally something that came to me as I was first walking around yesterday while my son is at the playground. And I said, I want to do something on glowing up live. And so I just started talking to ChatGPT on my walk to the point where it timed me out and said, wait a minute, it's been 10 minutes. And so it gave me like my thoughts spit back. I organized my thoughts for the little 6-page guide and, you know, whatever. I fed it what it needed to be fed. And then this morning I was like, you know, it'd be dope if I go live. Like if I actually practice what I'm telling them. So I built this whole automation last night in like an hour and a half. I didn't call my team. It was after hours because this is also the important piece about understanding. We're going to talk about this in the boot camp for therapists, social workers, and healers who have a private practice or at least one client or a business structure, and they want to have private practice plus streams of income related to their private practice. One of the things we're going to talk about is like you wearing too many damn hats, but it's always good for you to understand the hats before you delegate the hat. I hope that makes sense. Let me say it again. In your business, it is always good that you understand the responsibilities of the hat, the role, before you delegate it out so that you know how to measure the person's performance who has the role. Okay. So that means that you got to get your hands dirty. All right. All right. So we got, it's really about just doing it, get the idea and implement. You already know. Like this is what we talk about over and over again. And sometimes, I don't know, the 5th month of hit for some of y'all. Reflect and do it again. Yes. That is what I must adopt now. Yes. And then celebrate all wins. All right. So I had a great time. We went live for almost 53 minutes. I told y'all I can talk. Like I could pull out a book right now and do a book club. All right. So I love y'all. I am about to wrap up. If you want to stay connected with me more so in real time, right now, I'm posting more on YouTube. I'm teeter-tottering over there on Instagram, you know, more posted educational short form content. But if you want more in-depth, long form, connect with your girl, there's 498 podcast episodes until we have the boot camp. And if you are already part of the Private Practice Academy, you can still come to the boot camp. I would highly encourage it if especially you are looking to add additional streams of income in the expansion, because we realized something. The last time we did this, we realized a lot of our clients didn't know that there was a difference in the 2 different parts of the boot camp. So if you want to do that, you can. So I love y'all. Have a great night. Thank you so much for saying it was amazing. You're welcome. Y'all have a great rest of your evening. Talk to you later and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Bye.